In a quiet, tight-knit community of Landown Station, Nova Scotia, tragedy struck in the most unimaginable way. 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack were simply gone. It was May 2nd, 2025, a seemingly ordinary morning, but inside their modest home, something was deeply wrong. Their mother and her partner were in the bedroom with the infant daughter, Meadow, and the house was otherwise silent. Moments later, the unthinkable became reality. Lily and Jack had vanished without a trace. No signs of forced entry, no signs of struggle, no immediate clues to explain their disappearance. Authorities, neighbors, and family were left with more questions than answers. Where had they gone? Were they abducted? Or had something far darker occurred behind the closed doors of their home? Over the next 30 minutes, we'll take you through the timeline, the investigation, the unanswered questions, and the theories that have gripped the public imagination. From the initial reports to the ongoing search, from suspicious behavior to gaps in the timeline, every detail matters. Tonight, we unravel the mystery behind the disappearance that has left a community in shock, a nation in disbelief, and 2 young lives lost to uncertainty, for now. This is the story of Lily and Jack Sullivan, and the question remains, where are they? Wait a minute, do you know how many nights I've stayed up going over the same questions? How many times I've replayed those 2 days in May, looking for the one detail everyone else missed? And yet, people still treat this like a story to pick apart for entertainment, while Lily and Jack are still gone. I'm tired of people chasing likes and followers when 2 children never came home. If you think you can scroll past this and sleep peacefully tonight, ask yourself what it says about you. I'm not here for clicks. I'm not here for subscribers. I'm here because 2 children, with real faces and real laughter, disappeared. Every second wasted on chasing clout is a second stolen from the fight for answers. I don't care about being the first to post. I care about being the last one standing when the truth finally comes out. And when that day comes, it won't matter who broke the story. It'll matter that justice was served for Lily and Jack. This channel isn't here for views. We're not here for gossip. And we're definitely not here for entertainment when lives are at stake. Detective Max exists for one purpose: justice, real justice, for the voiceless, for the missing, for the children who can't speak for themselves. If you believe in that same mission, if you're tired of seeing stories pushed aside, cases forgotten, and innocent lives erased, then join this community. Subscribe not just to watch, but to stand with us, to fight with us. This is a movement for truth, and every single subscriber is part of that fight. One voice alone can be ignored, but thousands of voices demanding justice. That's how we put pressure on the system. That's how we force answers. That's how we become the voice these victims never had. But before we dive into this, kindly subscribe to our channel if you believe in fighting for justice. Because every view, every comment, every subscriber is a stand against silence and a step toward justice for those who cannot fight for themselves. We've just crossed 4,000 subscribers, all because of your support, and we need that same energy to reach 5,000, then 6,000, and then 10,000. So go ahead and drop your fingerprints on that subscribe button and where you're watching from, because wherever you are, the day this vision is fulfilled, I will send my appreciation straight to you. Let's keep building this community that fights for justice together. In the quiet, tree-lined streets of Landown Station, Nova Scotia, life moved slowly, and the community was tightly knit. But on the morning of May 2nd, 2025, that calm would be shattered. 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack were missing. Gone from the very home where they were last seen, vanished without a trace. For a neighborhood that prided itself on safety and familiarity, the shock was profound. A home once filled with laughter was now silent. No signs of forced entry, no evidence of struggle, just 2 children, gone. Questions immediately arose. Where could they have gone? Was someone involved, or had something far more sinister occurred behind closed doors? Over the next half hour, we will explore every detail, the timeline of their last known movements, the investigation that followed, eyewitness accounts, and the conflicting reports that have left authorities and families desperate for answers. This is the story of Lily and Jack Sullivan, and the mystery that has gripped a community, a province, and a nation. The question remains, where are they? In the days leading up to their disappearance, Lily and Jack Sullivan followed what seemed to be an ordinary routine, the kind of routine every small-town family experiences. On April 29th, 6-year-old Lily attended Salt Springs Elementary School, alongside her 4-year-old brother Jack. Teachers and classmates remembered them as quiet, energetic children, curious, playful, unremarkable in every way that made this tragedy so haunting. Their attendance was regular, their behavior typical, and to those around them, there was nothing to suggest that anything unusual was happening within their home. By May 1st, their mother reported that both children would stay home due to illness. Yet, multiple witnesses would later recall seeing them that same afternoon. Some remembered Lily laughing in the yard, Jack running alongside a family member, or the two siblings playing near a neighbor's driveway. Even these seemingly ordinary sightings would become a point of interest for investigators, who noted inconsistencies between the reported timeline and what neighbors observed. Small details began to emerge, details that seemed trivial at the time, yet would later take on an unsettling significance. A forgotten backpack here, a toy left outside there, moments of interaction that hinted the children were active, and well, just hours before their disappearance. But within these normal, everyday moments lay subtle contradictions. Conflicting accounts from family members and neighbors began to paint a fragmented picture, one that did not entirely align with the official reports. What at first seemed like the mundane rhythm of life would soon unravel into confusion and fear. These early discrepancies in the timeline would become crucial clues, guiding investigators through a maze of unanswered questions and setting the stage for the mystery that would grip the community, and eventually the nation. May 2nd, 2025, began like any other morning in the Sullivan household, or so it seemed. Lily and Jack were awake, moving about their small home. Witnesses later recounted that Lily had gone in and out of the bedroom, where her mother and her partner were attending to the infant, Meadow, while Jack played quietly in the kitchen. Moments that seemed ordinary would soon be overshadowed by alarm. When those same adults noticed the children were no longer in sight, the unimaginable became real. Lily and Jack were gone. The house, once filled with the sounds of laughter and morning routines, was silent. No notes, no signs of forced entry, no explanation. Panic quickly set in. Family members called out, searched the rooms, retraced the children's steps, but there was nothing. Neighbors were alerted, doors were knocked on, and the realization spread rapidly. Something was terribly wrong. Within hours, the search expanded beyond the home. Volunteers, family members, and neighbors scoured the surrounding area. Streets were canvassed, fields combed, and local roads checked. But despite the swift and desperate efforts, no trace of Lily or Jack was found. The disappearance that began as a sudden, horrifying shock was now a full-scale mystery, raising immediate and urgent questions. Where had the children gone? Had they wandered off, or had something far more sinister occurred? Each unanswered question added to the tension, as a community once confident in its safety now faced fear, uncertainty, and disbelief. As word of Lily and Jack Sullivan's disappearance spread, the quiet community of Landown Station was thrust into a state of alarm. Authorities responded immediately. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police launched a coordinated search, deploying officers, drones, and search dogs to comb the surrounding area. Every nearby road, wooded path, and open field was methodically checked, but the children were nowhere to be found. The urgency of the search galvanized the community. Neighbors, friends, and even strangers joined in, organizing search parties, canvassing the neighborhood, and calling in tips to authorities. What began as a family crisis became a collective effort, a desperate push to find two young lives in the midst of uncertainty. Amid the organized search, early theories began to circulate. Some speculated the children had wandered into the nearby woods, perhaps drawn by curiosity or play. Others whispered about the possibility of abduction or foul play. Every small detail, every reported sighting, every unverified lead became a point of discussion, both online and in local conversations. The combined efforts of authorities and the community underscored the scale and seriousness of the situation. What had started as a single home's tragedy was now a full-scale search operation, with a community united in fear, hope, and determination to uncover the truth. Yet, despite these efforts, the mystery of Lily and Jack's disappearance remained, deepening with each passing hour. As the search continued with little success, the investigation moved into a more structured and methodical phase. Authorities began conducting interviews with over 50 individuals, including family members, neighbors, and anyone who might have seen the children in the days leading up to their disappearance. Every account was scrutinized, every timeline cross-checked, and every minor detail noted. Polygraph tests were administered to key family members, while surveillance footage from nearby homes and businesses was collected and analyzed. Investigators examined the movements of Lily and Jack, their last known interactions, and the routines of their household. Each step was meant to uncover a lead, yet even with meticulous effort, concrete answers remained elusive. Small discrepancies in witness statements and conflicting accounts became points of interest. Investigators focused on these inconsistencies, trying to piece together a coherent timeline from fragments of memory, observations, and reports. What might have seemed insignificant, an extra sighting here, a timeline mismatch there, could hold the key to understanding the children's disappearance. The professional approach of the RCMP highlighted both the urgency of the case and the difficulty of uncovering the truth. Every lead was followed, every possibility considered. But as the hours passed, the mystery deepened, leaving the community and investigators alike grappling with fear, frustration, and the haunting question, where are Lily and Jack Sullivan? As investigators delved deeper into the case, the timeline of Lily and Jack Sullivan's last known movements became increasingly complex. Initial reports from the family suggested the children had remained at home due to illness, yet multiple eyewitness accounts placed them outside the house, moving about the neighborhood, and interacting with family members in ways that did not align with that version of events. These discrepancies, while seemingly small, raised critical questions. Where exactly were Lily and Jack in the hours before their disappearance? Who saw them, and who did not? Each conflicting sighting created gaps in the narrative, gaps that investigators could not ignore. The timeline became a patchwork of verified observations, recollections, and contradictions. Simple details, like the time a neighbor reported seeing the children in the yard, or when a school staff member last noted their attendance, took on heightened significance. Every minor inconsistency fueled speculation, drawing both investigators and the public deeper into the mystery. In a case where minutes could make a difference, these unanswered questions loomed large. The gaps in the timeline were not just technicalities, they were the cracks through which the truth might yet be revealed. And as the search continued, the uncertainty surrounding Lily and Jack's movements kept the community on edge, and investigators racing against both time and incomplete information. With the timeline riddled with gaps and unanswered questions, theories and speculations began to emerge, both among investigators and the public. Some believed that Lily and Jack might have wandered into the nearby woods, drawn by curiosity or play, only to become lost in the dense terrain. Others feared the possibility of abduction, imagining a stranger taking advantage of a brief moment of opportunity. Questions about the family's role also circulated, quietly at first, then more openly, as journalists and neighbors analyzed their behavior. Were the parents truly unaware, or were there elements of their accounts that did not fully align with the evidence? Investigators considered every angle, knowing that in cases like this, even the smallest detail could be critical. Public speculation ran rampant, amplified by social media and news coverage. Every sighting, every rumor, every unverified claim became part of the conversation, shaping the narrative while complicating the investigation. Yet amidst the conjecture, authorities focused on the facts, verified reports, corroborated timelines, and tangible evidence. In a case as complex as this, the line between theory and reality is often razor-thin. Each possibility, whether innocent misadventure or something far more sinister, had to be weighed carefully. The uncertainty fueled anxiety, debate, and a relentless search for answers, keeping the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan at the forefront of everyone's mind. As news of Lily and Jack Sullivan's disappearance spread, the story captured the attention of the media and the public alike. Headlines ran in local papers and online outlets, each reporting the latest updates, eyewitness accounts, and snippets of the ongoing investigation. Social media amplified the case further, with community members sharing sightings, theories, and concerns, sometimes blurring the line between fact and speculation. The public's reaction was intense. Neighbors organized search parties, shared information, and offered support to the family, while others debated the circumstances of the children's disappearance, questioning timelines, behaviors, and decisions made in the critical hours leading up to their vanishing. Fear, concern, and confusion rippled through the community, leaving many feeling both helpless and desperate for answers. Media coverage brought national attention, placing the family and investigators under an intense spotlight. Every action, every statement, and every update was scrutinized, sometimes adding pressure, and sometimes complicating the investigation. For those following the case, the constant flow of information, verified or otherwise, served as a reminder that the mystery was far from solved. In the midst of this heightened attention, the disappearance remained unsolved, the children unaccounted for, and the questions unanswered. The community's anxiety, combined with the relentless media focus, underscored just how deeply Lily and Jack Sullivan's story had gripped both local and national consciousness. Despite days turning into weeks, the search for Lily and Jack Sullivan showed no signs of slowing. Authorities continued to canvass the area, revisiting homes, checking wooded paths, and examining every lead that came in. Drones and search dogs combed the surrounding terrain, while investigators meticulously reviewed surveillance footage and followed up on even the smallest tip. The community remained deeply involved, volunteering their time and energy to cover every possible location. Candlelight vigils were held, posters circulated, and a collective determination took hold. No stone would be left unturned. The disappearance of two innocent children had united neighbors, friends, and strangers in a shared mission to bring Lily and Jack home. In an effort to encourage information, the government of Nova Scotia announced a $150,000 reward for tips that could lead to their whereabouts. Every call, every sighting, and every piece of information became crucial. Even the smallest detail could be the breakthrough that would finally solve the mystery. Yet with all these efforts, the uncertainty remained. Each day without answers weighed heavily on the family, the community, and investigators alike. Hope and fear existed side by side, driving an ongoing search that refused to give up. Because for Lily and Jack Sullivan, every lead mattered, and every moment counted. As we reflect on the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan, the timeline remains filled with unanswered questions. From their last known movements at home, the early discrepancies in sightings, the rapid escalation of the search, to the ongoing investigation by authorities, every detail paints a picture of a community gripped by fear, hope, and uncertainty. Despite tireless efforts by the RCMP, search teams, and volunteers, Lily and Jack remain missing. Their story is a stark reminder of how fragile safety can be, even in the quietest of communities, and how crucial it is for every small detail to be noticed, reported, and investigated. Authorities continue to ask for any information, no matter how minor it may seem. Tips can make the difference between unanswered questions and answers that bring resolution. If you have any knowledge about Lily and Jack's whereabouts, you are urged to contact the Northeast Nova RCMP at 902-752-5200 or reach out to the Missing Children Society of Canada at 1-800-661-6160. Every call, every tip, and every lead matters. Lily and Jack are still missing. And while the uncertainty is painful, hope endures. Because in cases like this, even the smallest piece of information could be the key to bringing them home. Their story is not over, and the search continues. Every lead counts. If this story has moved you, if the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan has reminded you that justice must never be silent, then take action. Every tip matters. Every lead counts. But beyond that, we need a community that refuses to turn away from the truth. Here on Detective Max, we don't chase fame or fleeting headlines. We dig deep. We investigate relentlessly. And above all, we fight tirelessly for justice. Because every child, every family, every victim deserves it. So if you believe in justice, if you believe in standing up for those who cannot speak for themselves, make sure to subscribe to Detective Max. Join a community committed not to sensationalism, but to uncovering the truth, holding the guilty accountable, and never letting a story like Lily and Jack's be forgotten. Subscribe, stay informed, and be part of the search for answers. Together we can make a difference.